This one. This is how it started. I got one vintage bag because I wanted to remind myself of just how great it was back then, carrying a really nice leather handbag. Now I'm out of control. Go figure. Oh, hold on. There we go. There we go. Put my bags away. Speaking of putting bags away, we are in the middle of cleaning a host of vintage bags. This one, this satchel with the burnt cedar trim, which I love, look at that. Cute, right? Isn't it cute? It's up next to be cleaned. And in the midst of me hunting for all of these vintage bags, I got to thinking perhaps, it may be good to share 3 tips that I have. Because lately I have seen a couple of comments about authenticating a Dooney Bourke bag. And it really all depends on how old your bag is and what bag it is. There's so many things going on there. So here are my 3 tips for authenticating your Dooney Bourke handbag. It's Gwendolyn. If this is your first time here, welcome. People call me G. Happy to have you here. Before you forget to do anything else, you could like and share this video. And also, if you haven't, subscribe. Okay, that's done. Let's get to it. So here's another satchel that I am going to be cleaning up fairly soon. And what gets me number one is people tend to look for the very first thing. I want to start here first. The very first thing they look for is that identification tag that would be in the handbag if it is authentic. Well, here's the deal. It all depends on how old it is. Now, Dooney Bourke started back in 1975, right? And they started with the men's accessories, belts, suspenders, things of that nature, little leather goods here and there. So they weren't always doing handbags. And then when they started to do handbags, it was primarily in this bridal leather, right? Then there was a pebble leather, then the all weather leather. But it was in this bridal leather that was gorgeous. If I could find one of those. Focus. So those bags don't have a tag in them. You really didn't start getting the tag system until like the late 80s or so, like 85, 86, somewhere in there. Now, mind you, I was born in 75, but trust, we have done some research. We've been hunting down the bags. So what I'm giving you is some good info. So let's talk about these tags, right? Because the tags the tags do tell you to a certain extent that this is an authentic bag. It is an authentic bag, right? The tags were created to tell you about the country where it was produced or put together, right? And then it gave you like an individual number for your handbag. And the whole idea was to register your number so that you could get it fixed in the future if something was to happen to it. So we know that in the early 80s and 90s, a good chunk of Dooney Bourke bags were made in the US. So there is a made in the USA Dooney Bourke bag, a Dooney Bourke tag, pardon me, literally says Dooney Bourke made in the USA. That tag tells you a great deal. Typically has an A or a B to let you know that that was made in the USA. Love getting a bag with that tag because the craftsmanship, the leather, was some kind of special. I mean, like, it's just some kind of special, right? But there were other countries where they had the bag made. And in those other countries, you do not get them made in the USA. All you get is a Dooney Bourke. But there is a letter there. Now, the letter is going to depend on where it was. So it could be a C, because at some point they did make some things in Costa Rica. It could be an H, K, J, and an L, not mistaken. That would be for China. There was an I for Italy, because, if you're getting the Florentine, that was Italy. And I think some of the nylon too. And then M is for Mexico. So you're gonna see a variety of different tags with letters that are on there. Now, if it was a leather good, a small leather good, hold on. If you're looking at a small leather good, like the agendas, the wallets, well, you're not gonna get a tag on that. What you're going to get is something that's embossed on the inside that says Dooney Bourke, made in the USA. You can have that. Now, there were some items that never had a tag, and we're talking like the early 2000s. Some of the nylon bags did not get a tag. Not because they just didn't have it or there was a fluke, they just were not given tags. I have a good collection of nylon bags. I have a nylon messenger specifically that doesn't have it. It is authentic. It was not some sort of secondhand something. It just doesn't have a tag. So we know that for the modern Dooney Bourke shopper, we look for tags. The deal is when you go older, that tag isn't there. Now there's another reason why your tag may not be there. Your tag may not be there because it was an outlet purchase, or it was an outlier, as in it didn't pass the quality check, but they still want to sell the bag. Or it was a sample sale. I have a sample sale bag, no tag, right? Looks beautiful on the outside, and the inside, Back in the day, and we're talking like the 90s, okay? When you would sell an item that didn't make the quality check, they were clipping out the tag. Now that goes for fashion clothes too. So like your Chanel's, your Prada's, no one like Halston, but a lot of your fashion, your high fashion goods, especially in New York, is where I'm coming from. When they had the resale shop sell them, they clipped the tag out, but the care tag was still there. The care tag told you who the manufacturer was because they all have an RN number. But in the fashion world, for the accessories, Dooney did what a lot of other companies did. They clipped the tag out. So if you went to the outlet store that they had, 'cause they had outlet stores as well as their flagship stores, they would clip the tag out. They would either snip it down the middle or it didn't have one. So sample sale didn't have tags. Bags that were good enough to be sold at the outlet either had a snip down the middle, so they split the tag, or they clipped it out and just left like little frayed edges. Those are legit Dooney Bourke bags. It was their way of saying, when you buy this bag, you can't return this bag. Because that was the thing. And so even back in the 90s, people were doing some shady stuff with returning stuff. But that was their way of saying, this bag didn't pass quality check, but we still want to sell it. It's still a great deal, and it's still an authentic bag. So I know it can be a little hard when you're looking at like a Poshmark or something, or an eBay, and you're like, where's the tag? Well, one, how old is it? And two, where did it come from? Because if it's outlet or secondhand or not great, there will be no tag to do the authentication. And that's for your modern bags. Now here's something else you can look for. And again, it all depends on the bag, but there's typically a logo inside the bag. Now, if you have an 80s, a 1981, 82, then you're not gonna have your traditional leather stamp. You know how it's sewn in? You won't have that. You will have it embossed. You will have that stylized D&B embossed in the bag. And we're talking bridal leather, so it looks really good. But you would have that in the bag. So we're talking the 81, 82. In the 83, 84 era, they started doing like this cloth green Dooney and Bourke tag label. Again, with the stylized D&B. And that stylized D&B, it looks like this. Let me just show this keychain here. Right, so this was the logo back then. Now, if you were to see that logo, you'd be like, that's not real, that's gotta be fake. No, they have gone through some iterations. They've gone through it. I actually think this is kind of cute. I like this little logo, right? I like it. But that's your 83, 84-ish era, where you're gonna have this green cloth label stitched into the bag, right? With this kind of die. And there's even a couple of fobs that look like that, but I'm gonna come back to the fobs. So after that, when the all-weather leather came on the scene, then they started doing more of what we see now, right? Putting in a leather patch in the bag. And even then, it depends. The glove leather collection had a completely different label than, say, the all-weather leather. That glove leather had it where it was the D&B in the script, Norwalk, Connecticut. It was a beautiful label. So Dooney's gone through a couple of different iterations for how they tag their bags based on the collection. So it's not a one size fits all. You got to figure out what year are you looking at and will it match? So here's the asterisk. Because you would think, when we're talking the 80s, 90s, there couldn't be a fake out there, but there are fakes. There are fakes out there, right? And people are getting these fake vintage bags and selling them. There were just certain things that Dooney did and didn't do. Like, you can look at the zipper. They did have some zippers that had Riri, but they also had some YKK zippers. It all depends on how old the bag is. Like this one, this little guy here, you know, you would look at it and say, well, that can't be legit. It's legit. There is not this one size fits all. You really have to look at all the different features of the bag, the zipper, the key fob, the identification label, the tag inside, the leather, to see if it's legit. But there are some things you can tell. They've always done, I say always in air quotes, they've always done brass for the older ones. Now, there was a time when they did nickel. And the Florentine collection, that Toscana, that has palladium. So there are some differences in there. But when you look at the vintage bags, then yeah, you're looking for a lot of brass in there. And it will say, it'll say solid brass. Even their rivets and things have Dooney and Bourke on them. So there's these other ways of identifying that your bag is legit and authentic versus that. Even if you were buying the bag through Poshmark or eBay or some other resale place, they can take a picture of that for you to let you know, okay, before you buy, because I'm here and you're there, here are the ways of saying that it is legit. So let's talk about the key fob, the duck fob, the fob period. Well, it wasn't always a duck. All-weather leather didn't come on the scene until like what, 84, 85? 83, somewhere in there is when they started doing the all-weather leather. So before that, they had leather bags. Remember that bridle? But they weren't all-weather leather, so they didn't have a duck. Some of the bags have this fob. This, again, stylized Dooney and Bourke, right? Some of them have that. Sometimes you will find a Dooney and Bourke fob that is rectangle with this stylized look as well. It is legit. And then, of course, we know we have the duck. But even the duck has been, that brass duck has been faked. And I think it's obvious. Sometimes it's the shape. The shape tells you that this can't be real, or it's the way the leather looks, it can't be real. It's like, what is that? What is that supposed to be? Like, I don't understand that. So yeah. Dooney has a history, 51 years of history. And so you can find something and you're like, I don't know. And I want to say this too, hold on. Let me open this one up because I got all the pillows in here. You want to take care of your leather. Can I just say that? Take care of your leather. Maybe that should be like the next one, right? Like, take care of your leather. A lot of these older bags from Dooney and Bourke have this I'm gonna get it out of here. Have this organization built in. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? A place for your credit cards and stuff. Isn't that cute? A lot of them have this. Now, they're not always this beautiful leather. Some of them are just like this other kind of leather, but they have this organization built in. That's what they were doing back in the day, right? Or it just could be the suede by itself. There wasn't any pretty fabric lining. There wasn't any Italian twill. It was just the leather, just the nubuck, just the suede. That was it. And this organization pocket, which I haven't cleaned this one yet either. So you're looking for features that make sense for that era of the bag. That's another way to say it. Oh, is that legit? Okay, I think it's legit. Now, clearly, to protect yourself wherever you're buying this from, make sure the return policy allows you to say no if once you get it and feel it, you're like, this can't be real. And so since you sold me some bad goods, I need to return it. Make sure you have that. But I say go hunting for your vintage bag. Go hunting. I have found a good number of really cute vintage bags lately. When I say I am living in this era, like look at this. Look at that satchel. Is that not attractive? Look at that. Yes, it's supposed to have a handle. I don't want the handle. I just want the satchel because it looks good without the purse strap. God, that's gorgeous. Okay. So yeah, if you have other tips on how to authenticate your Dooney Bourke bag, put them in the comments. Would love to get more, because as we see more of these bags hitting the market, and some of us are living in our best vintage era, like these kinds of styles, they don't just go out, this never goes out of style. Like absolutely, it's a satchel. It never goes out of style. But you're gonna see more of them. So you wanna make sure whatever you're purchasing is actually legit. Yeah. All right, until then, I'm gonna see you guys. Well, I guess I should have a question. Oh, here's a question. Do you purchase vintage Dooney Bourke bags? That's the question. That's the question. Let me know in the comments. Until then, I will see you all later. Consider me old school, but as an adult educator, I do feel the need to cite my resources. So not only have I been in retail both on the fashion and home product side for 25 plus years, hence knowing some of these things about how product is treated. I also use the horsekeeping.com website to research some of the history of Dooney Bourke. We also use vintagedooney.com to research history and colorways, and then we use dooney.com to research a good chunk of their history and also grab pictures. So I just believe that if you're going to do anything, you want to not only use your own life experience, industry experience, but also rely on a few great resources and cite those resources. There are links to those websites in the description just in case you want to take a deeper dive into the history of Dooney Bourke as well. Hey, it's Gwendolyn. Thank you for watching this video. I sincerely appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this content, I would love it if you would like and share. And if you want to see more, check out this playlist or this other suggested video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you soon.